The city of Kuala Lumpur, the capital of democratic Malaysia. On Sunday, the 30th of October 1966, history was made again in this city. The 36th President of the United States of America, President Lyndon Baines Johnson, came to Kuala Lumpur. With him was Lady Bird Johnson. Our very distinguished visitors were received by our King and Queen, Their Majesties the Yang di-Pertuan Agong and the Raja Permaisuri Agong.
Tuan Yang Terutama Presiden.
In his welcome address, His Majesty said that during his stay here, President Johnson will meet ordinary folks going about their daily business. He will also see a small nation busily engaged in the pursuit of peace. Making his speech, the American President had inspiring words for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to be here in Malaysia. I feel that I know you because Malaysia, like the United States, is a federation of states which were once colonies of Great Britain. And because Malaysia is, like the United States, a nation of many diverse peoples, different religions, and different cultures. Here, as in America, you are working to reduce racial tensions so that all men may live in peace with one another. Malaysia, like the United States, has been making great social and economic progress. That a man should be free to make the best of his life as he sees fit is one that the people of America cherish. But though I feel that I know you, I have come here to learn from you. I know that your nation is a model of what may be done by determined and far-sighted men in Southeast Asia and in other parts of the world. You valiantly subdued a communist insurgency in your own nation from the very same room where you once planned battle strategy. You planned the works of peace. Your achievement in this respect, I believe, has the greatest significance for our struggle in Vietnam today. You have shown that military action can stop communist aggression, and that while the aggression is being stopped, and even more strongly when it is stopped, the peace as well as the war can be won. You began building a free and prosperous countryside that can relieve the poverty and the apathy upon which communism so often thrives. Your example offers us hope for the future. It is a great pleasure to be here and to see firsthand. And Ms. Johnson and I look forward with great pleasure to our stay with you. Thank you very much.
The American President and his wife having an audience with our King at Istana Negara. Malaysia is predominantly an agricultural country. Much of its arable land is under cultivation, and about 1/3 of it is under industrial development, which includes tin mining, the second major industry of the country. Large acreage of jungle land is now being cleared to make way for development. Land schemes are planned to cater for the landless. Today there are more than 60 such schemes throughout the nation administered by the Federal Land Development Authority. Rubber is fundamental to the economy of the country. The prosperity of the territory rests largely upon the industry and has made possible a high standard of living among the people. To cope with world need and the threats from synthetic rubber, it is being revitalized. New techniques are being introduced and new grades being looked for. Hand in hand with this, Transport and other facilities are being improved. This is one of the many land schemes in the country. Like the others, its main objective is to raise the standard of living of the rural people. It is also to provide land for the landless. Owing to the nearness of one to the other, a small town is envisaged. The planting of oil palm is gradually gaining prominence in West Malaysia, though at present it is mainly an estate crop. It is now an important crop in Malaysia. Steps are now being taken to make it another industry in the country. The Federal Land Development Authority are actively concerned in developing the cultivation of the crop among the smallholders. Due to the tremendous output, mills are being established. At the moment, farmers are encouraged to plant subsidiary crops. This way will help diversify their economy. Settlers who have been selected on their merits in these land schemes are given every encouragement to own economically viable farms. Poultry farming is a thriving small industry among the rural people. Fish farming too has caught up with many of them. Paddy is grown locally by farmers to meet the needs of the nation. It is the staple food of Asians. The government is paying particular attention to increasing the yield per acre by the introduction of new paddy strains and the improvement of the drainage and irrigation system. Work on these improvements have been launched in many major rice-growing areas in the country. These will enable double cropping and in turn has served to increase national production, setting the country well on the way to self-sufficiency in rice. Credit should be given to the rural people themselves. The main factor behind the impending success of these development projects lies with the spirit of gotong royong, or the working together of the community. Much work can be completed in shorter time. This has been the main driving force behind the implementation of all government rural development schemes. Rural development has brought many facilities which were once unheard of by the rural population of Malaysia. These include medical care and education for the children. The Federal Land Development Authority, in its drive to further develop the country, has established many land schemes. This has improved tremendously the living standard of the people. The most ambitious of all the land schemes in the country today is the Jungka Triangle, covering an area of some 120,000 acres. When completed, this will bring benefit to about 12,000 families. It will be the largest single land scheme so far undertaken by the government. And now, with the Malaysian Deputy Prime Minister, Tun Abdul Razak, President Johnson arriving at Kampung Labu Jaya, about 60 miles from the federal capital. Alongside our campaign against communist subversion, our rural development is our war against poverty in the countryside. Many years from now, these children will proudly remember that they have shaken hands with the leader of the American people. A hot spot during the communist insurgency, Labu Jaya is now a thriving community. It is one of the most successful land schemes in the nation today. Covering an area of about 7,000 acres, rubber is its major crop. The settlers are a happy people. They are now harvesting the fruits of their labor. They are living with all the facilities provided them in government land schemes. A typical house belonging to one of the 242 families in Kampong LBJ, a successful family. This is a proud day for them. Their dwelling was visited by the American president, an event to be retold time and time again. Today they receive a letter of thanks from the president himself. It has been a memorable day for the folks at the village, and to mark his visit, the scheme has been renamed after the president, Kampong L.B. Johnson.
Make some reference to Kampong LBJ. As you all are aware, LBJ is a new name for Kampong Labujaya. But what I can understand is this, that Kampong is still being referred as Labujaya. We must give more publicity to this chain of names. We should have at least a very large board outside the scheme with letters LBJ boldly written on it. If possible, let them be in red. Thank you.
This is the nerve center of the FLDA, created to facilitate the development of new lands. This independent body is responsible for giving lands to the land hungry. It is also to promote and assist investigation and research, and to formulate and carry out projects and developments in Malaysia.
Decided on the village area is a very good one because, as we have all agreed, water supplies take some time to complete. So if you can get a head start, it's a very good thing.
The Ministry of National and Rural Development, the hub of the Malaysian Development Administration. Here in the National Operations Room, illustrative charts have been devised to help illustrate visually the progress of the development projects and schemes throughout the country. Tun Abdul Razak, who is also the Minister of National and Rural Development, is the dynamic figure in pushing the development programs. The Malaysian government has devised procedures to ensure that settlers get what they want. A clean water supply or a safer footbridge might not impress the overambitious, but they are crucially important in a developing country like Malaysia. Kuala Lumpur, the capital city of a young, progressive and energetic nation, the nerve center of activities for the development of democratic Malaysia.